Hey, thank y'all for stopping by. Well, as you see, we got the front sprocket off of the chain. Now we're about to work on that back wheel and that back caliper and replace all that. So, no more talk. Let's get it in. Had to replace this whole basket because of this one bad bolt. It's just constantly spinning, so eventually one day I'm about to cut it off. And got another one, torque spec'd all the bolts and lined them up, put the line on it so I know where that's where the torque spec is. Let's put it on. For this part we had to wait for the new assembly hub because one of the bolts on the old one was stripped, so it wasn't coming off. So we got this rear sprocket on, as you see, the arcade driven sprocket. I like it. It didn't have the footage got corrupted during the install of the wheel, but you just do the reverse of what I showed how to take it off and just take your time. But everything is on, chain is on, sprocket's on, secure and tight. Now let's get to the main parts, which will be the air filter and the spark plugs and oil change. Hey, this is for the corrupt lost footage I had on this, taking your rear caliper off as well as reassembling the whole wheel assembly back here. First and foremost, what you want to do is you want to get access to your brake reservoir, which is behind here. What I usually do is I would take your seat off, and I would just take this bolt off as well as this bolt, so I can just have a little access just to pull it just a little bit, not a lot, just so where you can just get your screwdriver and just or whatever Allen wrench and just take those screws out and be able to have access to that. And I'll put some tiles in there, of course. Then I will go back here, and you want to just, of course, just loosen this one up while it's on here, and just take these off. Loosen these, take these off, take your caliper off. Once you take your caliper off, then you can take that pin, this pin out, and it'll take your brake pads off. And then I would just I would get a C clamp, and just push the calipers back. That's what I do. That's just me. Push your calipers back, and then just reverse. Just put your brake pads on and keep that to the side. You want to keep that to the side for this reason, because you have your bracket that's holding this caliper on to the frame, but it slides on and off, and you're going to need this. You're going to need the caliper off to be able to install your wheel. So what I do is, of course, this is your tip of your axle, and what I try to do is I try to line the wheel up just enough where that tip is able to make it in here. And once it does, I just tap, with a mallet, I just tap it all the way through till it gets about right before it gets to the end here. because you're going to need to be playing with this bracket as well, trying to keep this bracket from moving off this alignment area there. And once you get it lined up, you just tap it all the way through. Then you're going to line up, bring it out, and then you put your brake pad back on. Brake caliper back on, tighten everything up. I don't tighten this up yet until I can get my chain on. I'll put the chain on, and then I would do my, of course, my I have a rivet, so I mark where my rivets are at, so I know the next time that's where that's where I'm gonna be cutting at. So you do that, then you just adjust your chain, and then you just lock it down. Lock it down, and then everything else is reversed. You just do your same torque specs to unlock it. You do the same thing to lock it back up. Then I just do a thorough spin. Especially with the brakes, I'll do a thorough spin and hit the brakes. Make sure they're working. That's after, that's after you put your cap and everything back on. You put everything on, lock it down, do your little test. You'll do your test. Like I said, I just do a spin, hit the brakes, make sure they're braking. Make sure they're braking in the right position I want them to. Check your chain. Make sure it's wobbly. Make sure your adjustments here are correct on both sides. And what I do as well, I mark those. This one is covered by my thing, but I mark it on where I want it to be correct, tight at. So that way, even though I have a chain adjuster that's supposed to let me know if it's tight or loose, it doesn't hurt to double by doing the marks where you want them. See, mine is usually about the fourth before the end. That way I'm fine. So I know now to adjust, or that's where I need to stop at right there. Yeah, so in retrospect, we took off the rear wheel. We had to switch out our sprocket basket because we had a strip bolt on one of it. Got a new one, put the new sprocket on the back, put everything back together, torque spec, got that all situated. And then we had another issue, which was technical. It was, I see that my footage for that got corrupted, putting it back on. I wanted to show steps of putting it off, taking it off and putting it back on. But yeah, I got to find better, equipment, newer equipment for that. But everything is on the back. We're good to go for the back. Now we're going to work once again on cleaning this fuel pump, this air filter, and changing these plugs out and changing the oil in the oil filter. So we're almost there. And we'll be ready for 2023. So be on the lookout.